Mark, so kind of what I'm getting at is I had to do a guest hit on a radio thing the other day, and I had to do a mock draft. And the
Uh-huh.
mock draft goes down. Jalen Carter's gone. Skaronski goes to the Falcons at 8, and I'm sitting there, and I go, "Oh God, what do I do now?" And I thought long and hard about it, and I'll be honest with you, I ended up taking Nolan Smith.
Oh,
So I mean, I've seen also some clips from you too as well, singing the praise a little bit of Nolan Smith. Would that shock you if the Chicago Bears went that direction? I mean, I just see a guy that can just be another big piece, another leader, a guy that gets to the quarterback, guy they're comping to Hassan Reddick. Would that shock Bears Nation if they took Nolan Smith at 9?
I'm with you, man. I've kind of fallen in love with Nolan Smith. I mean, I heard there was reports that he visited Hallis Hall. I think David Kaplan had that, and so I was doing a little work and talking to some people about Nolan Smith. And one guy that I talked to, a former front office guy in the NFL, told me that the comp is, and he said, listen, it's not a direct comp. You got to work to get there a little bit, but he said Micah Parsons.
Oh,
So, and he said, and he did, and again, he was very careful. It wasn't like, oh, this is the next Micah. It was like, if he gains a little weight, because he's a little bit, light, this guy was a little bit worried that at the next level, that it's possible he would become a specialist at the edge as opposed to a guy who can stop the run as well, unless he puts on about 15 pounds or so, then he's probably every down in the NFL and could be a star. So there was a little bit of caveat, and that was size, but the speed is real. The ability is real. Everything is real except for the size. So that's great you brought him up, man.
Yeah, I like him too, but I think he's more of a fit in the 3-4, to be honest with you. I don't think he has enough weight behind him to be a 3-down end. Pass rush is there by far. And then all of a sudden, if you put weight on him, is he going to have the same burst, right? Because this guy is a genetic freak, and you put on 15 pounds, all of a sudden you slow that Maserati down. You don't want to do that now. So it's going to be interesting to see who they go with, right? Whether it's the offensive line, that people are talking about Jalen Carter still in the picture. So it's really going to be interesting to see. In my opinion, I think I'd have to pass on him unless, they were able to trade back into the end of the first round if he was available. But I think with that top 10 pick, you got to have a for sure thing. I think Jalen Carter's talent is there. But in my opinion, I like Calijah Kancey better from Pittsburgh, man. He is Aaron Donald 2.0. And I'll say it. I'm not Aaron on the side. No, he is Aaron Donald 2.0. And I think people realize that, and a lot of people miss the mark with Aaron Donald because of his size. But he is an absolutely explosive 3 technique. I mean, he does everything you need to do. And at Tampa too, he would really flourish in this game.
yeah, Mark, provide your perspective on Calijah Kancey. He's been a big name here on our show here for quite some time now.
Yeah, I've been liking Calijah Kancey for a while, and that it's probably because I've given up the possibility of Jalen Carter, whether it's because of what he's gone through or just because he's not going to be available. So then you look at it, and yeah, it's hard not to kind of be seduced by Calijah Kancey because of what Corey is saying and the comp to Aaron Donald. I know that people have said that he needs to get bigger as well, but I think he could be a destructive 3 technique. And quite frankly, I think if you're looking at 9, those might be the only 2 guys: Jalen Carter, Calijah Kancey, and maybe Wootton's guy at Northwestern at Abare. But I know he's probably more suited on the edge, though. Corey, I mean,
he's on the edge, and I think there's a chance he might be towards the end of the first round. But I think realistically, he's second or third round. I think his combine really is elevated him. I think he's a talent, but when you look at the tape of him, he flashes a lot, right? But he doesn't have that thing where you're like, okay, he's a first round pick right there. He has all the talent, and I think he can be a really great player in this league. But I think the combine, the Senior Bowl, and everything has hyped him up a lot, and he's really building momentum with that. And I think a team is going to take a chance on him in the first round. I really do, because I think the upside is there. But I think it'll be towards the end of the first round, in my opinion.